been seeing a lot of people complain about uh, what they're having to pay for their orders, and a lot of people, like the drivers, complaining about what they're uh, getting paid for these orders. And unfortunately, yes, the common opponent, enemy, or however you want to refer to it here, is the platform, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever. But at the end of the day, the tip is, you can call it whatever you want, a tip, a bid for service, uh, whatever, I don't care. It's, at the end of the day, that's what's going to control you getting your order quickly or at all. And it sucks. I mean, it does suck. I mean, there's no other way around it. Drivers are being expected to take orders like the ones that I'm posting to my over here. So my left, and I believe it's my right on video. But anyways, showing some of the orders that I've seen on DoorDash here lately, where they're just horrible. I mean, as a customer, I get it. You're paying fees and all this other stuff, and that, like the platforms need to change some of the wording. It's not a tip; it's a bid for service. They need to change delivery fee to something else, processing fee or whatever, because delivery fee makes it look like the driver's getting it, and the driver's not getting it. Like DoorDash in my area, some restaurants I have seen pay $1 for a base pay. Like that's what DoorDash is paying. The order comes through as $1 because the customer didn't tip. For the majority of businesses in my area, the base pay is $2. When I started doing this back in early mid 2023, the base pay was about $4.50. But even then, without a tip, most orders are just not worth taking. Nobody's going. I mean, I understand you've paid fees and such, but nobody's going to take your order. If you live 8 miles from the store, nobody's going to take deliver your food or your items, your merchandise or whatever for $4.50. So, I mean, like if you tip $2.50 and the base pay is $2, that's $4.50. But you're still 16 miles round trip. I mean, you got to think about this like the people making the delivery to your home, as you leaving your home and having to come back. If they come to your home, they got to drive back to town. So, I mean, you may be 8 miles away, but that's 16 total miles round trip, and I get it. Get a better job. You signed up for this. I understand all the whatever you want to call it, the discussion topics. I'm trying to not use words that are going to cause arguments. So, with that said, I mean it's still. I mean, as a customer, you got to understand how much is your time worth to you. If you're using a delivery service, that means you feel your time is more important than making the trip to town, pick up the items, food, whatever, and then drive home. It's worth enough to you to pay those delivery fees, processing fees, whatever you want to call them, all these different fees the platform wants to charge. But then you draw the line at tipping. It's like, I get it. You paid a lot of money, but drivers also have to pay a lot of money, like wear and tear on their vehicles and things. And I understand, the whole get a better job argument and everything. That's a valid argument. But what are you as a customer going to do when there's nobody to deliver your stuff? Then you're going to have to go to town, make the trip, spend wear and tear on your vehicle and everything, which I understand. A lot of you watching this are going to probably comment that you do that already. You don't use delivery service. That's fine. Post away. I mean, I wish more people would go get their stuff. I wish more customers would go get their own things. I wish less customers actually use the apps, because in my market, I still do DoorDash part-time here and there. And a week or so ago, when I did the last week I've done DoorDash, I haven't done it in a week, but the last 2 weeks ago or so, I turned in one day, in an hour and a half, I had, I think it was 55 offers in an hour and a half. I accepted 3. The rest of them were all, $2 to $7, but they were all every one of them was 9+ miles one way. So 18+ miles round trip, and the pay offer was $2 to $7. So yeah, I'm not taking those. I'm sorry. And the thing is, if you only use these apps as an emergency service, like your car, like I do, like when my cars broke down, like years ago when I first started using DoorDash, I only used it when my car, when I couldn't get to town, my car broke down, I'd use DoorDash. I'd Uber Eats, whatever. I did my best to tip well. I mean, I live about 6 miles from I live about 6 miles round trip or so from most restaurants, 6 to 8 miles round trip, and I would tip $10 to $20 depending on what I ordered. Because it was worth it to me. I could walk to town, but who 110 degree who wants to walk to town to get food and everything and then walk back in that kind of weather? Not me. But a lot of people are just using these apps and services just as a daily driver, and you can't do that. If you're using the apps as a daily driver, I mean, just look at how much you're paying in just fees, and you end up paying ridiculous amounts of money. I don't understand why anybody would use these apps as a daily driver, but a lot of people do. But if people use these apps more as an emergency, and obviously if you tipped, you would get your stuff quicker, just plain and simple. But I understand the not wanting to tip or whatever, and that's fine. And if less people use these apps, there'll be less drivers, and these apps will be forced to pay more to get the drivers they do have to drive, to deliver, and and then everybody wins. Not really, because the apps will never raise the base pay to the point that it's worth taking an order 18+ miles round trip. They're just not going to. But that's my rant for the day. There's no real clear-cut solution to it other than customers quit using the apps and drivers quit taking the orders at all. That do not make sense. That's the only thing you can do. If both sides force the apps to pay more, I mean, it's going to hurt customers, because a lot of customers aren't going to get their stuff when they want it or when they need it, and a lot of drivers are not going to make enough money to continue using the apps. So all in all, the only solution is really just quit using the apps for customers and drivers. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you have a better idea.